I want to go to one of my favorite guests, one of our go-to sources of information here, and I got a ton of questions, so let's do it. It's Dr. Kelly Victory, also one of the best names ever. She's a trauma and emergency specialist and expert in mass casualties and disaster preparedness, which is like this is it. Here we are. Dr. Kelly, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Let's start with masks. I hear some people who I trust and admire and value say you shouldn't be allowed to leave the house without a mask. And I hear some people say masks are stupid and wasteful and definitely don't do it. It won't stop you from getting it or from transmitting it. I have no idea what to think. Settle this once and for all.
Well, it's a great question. In my opinion, masks are the mainstay of what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. I believe right now that the people who are naysayers, who are saying don't use or wear a mask, are really trying to protect the stockpile of equipment that we have for the people who need it most. In other words, if everybody who's going to the gas station or the grocery store puts a mask on, clearly those masks are not available for the people on the front lines who are seeing patients, who are trying to respond to people who are who are ill, and therefore it's a supply issue. There's no question that masks improperly worn can be more of a problem. If you're putting the mask on and you're touching your face all over to do it, and then you take it and hang it off your ear when you go to talk on your telephone, and then you re-put the mask back on, you may have actually contaminated your face in a way that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I see a lot of that. I just flew in yesterday, I flew out of Denver and into Southern California, and I saw half the people in the airport, which is about 5 people, wearing masks in different, versions of them hanging, as I said, over one ear. I saw a couple people with it just over their mouth and not over their nose. So I think there are a couple things at play here. Number one is the improper use of masks that can actually make them more problematic because you end up touching your face and spreading potentially a virus or bacteria, and the fact that we are impacting stockpile. If there weren't an issue of supply, if we had, miraculously from above got, hundreds of millions of masks delivered to Earth, I don't think you would hear so many people saying, quote, don't wear a mask. Because in general, I think they can't be helpful.
Is it worth wearing something over your face when you go to the grocery store once a week?
I really wouldn't recommend doing that, Mike. I think the best thing people can do when they're in those sorts of situations is do the best they can to socially distance, to physically distance, stay away from other people who may be coughing or sneezing. I worry about this idea that just sort of wrapping a bandana around your mouth, could it potentially stop a water droplet from landing on your mouth or for you breathing it in? It could, but it's really not the best way to train people on public health. So I wouldn't recommend that you wrap, a sports sock around your face.
Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching The First on YouTube. If you want more, subscribe. We got plenty.